to leave behind a child. Otherwise, all of them, if they sit, they will perish. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. Look at your children and say Alhamdulillah. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث عبد الله بن محصن الأنصاري الخطمي رضي الله عنه أنه قال: من أصبح منكم آمنا في سربه معافا في بدنه عنده قوت يومه فقد حيزت له الدنيا بحذافيرها. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم draws a Polaroid picture to all of us, and he shows the ni'mah that you and I are in today. He says, if you woke up this morning sheltered from the elements, mu'afan fi badani, that you and I are not sick or bedridden. عنده قوت يومه, you have enough food for today. I'm pretty sure if you take us to your home tonight or this afternoon after Jumu'ah, you can feed half of this congregation. Open the pantries and see how much good in there. If you were sheltered from the elements, have the ability to walk, reason, see, speak, and hear, and that you have enough to eat for today, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam calls you a king. He calls you, my sister, a queen. فَقَدْ حِيزَتْ لَهُ الدُّنْيَا بِحَذَافِيرِهَا. You have the entire world under your dominion. That's what the hadith means. Say Alhamdulillah. إذن فلنقارن بين الأمن والسكن والاستقرار. Let's compare ourselves to others. In Yemen, we saw a grandfather digging a trench, covering this hole with shrubs with his 4 grandchildren because of all the war that's happening. You did not wake up this morning with a sonic boom over your head. You didn't wake up this morning, have to run and huddle with your children in a safe area because there is explosive barrels falling from above to total destruction. You and I, brothers and sisters, woke up in the comfort of our homes, and we walked but few steps, and a turn to the left and a turn to the right, and this crystal clear water gushed out of the walls, rejuvenated us. We made wudu, we prayed either at home or in the masjid. Journey with me to a Syrian refugee or a Palestinian refugee, or now what's happening in Sudan, and you come and see how valuable that water is. If you ever went to a Rohingya camp, and we did, not me personally, but a colleague of mine, and this is what he said to us. A lady took out her dabatta, as they say in Urdu, or her shawl, ولا بالعربي يقولون الطرحة. She took it off. When she took the water from one bucket, she placed it on another bucket and put the water, thinking that how she can purify it. Do you know what the color of that water is? Think of a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, add creamer to it and stir it. Do you picture the color now? On a glass cup, that's how the water looked like. When you and I opened the faucet this morning and that crystal clear water that gushed out of the walls, did we pause for a moment and say, Ya Rabbi lak alhamd? Say Alhamdulillah. You don't understand. Say Alhamdulillah. Did you really truly say Alhamdulillah and mean it? When we are invited sometimes in Ramadan to go see somebody's home, and mashallah, Allah has opened the doors of dunya on them, you can see them immaculate lawn. You tiptoe inside and you see this immaculate carpet, a decor that is out of this world. Chandelier, chairs, and the food was amazing. You get into your car and you're cursing your luck. Why can't I have a car like the one that they have in their garage? Why can't I have a home like the one that they have? Why can't I have the life that they have? Unbeknownst to us that a mile down the road, someone is under the bridge. Unbeknownst to us that someone is waiting at the bus, waiting under the heat of Florida or downpour of Orlando. Yet you have a car. And yet you have a home to go to. Though it may not be like that one, but at least you have a home. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. And mean it. When it comes to food, brothers and sisters, it's a different story. Every day around the world, there is 27,000 people die. Not because of disease, but because of lack of food. Every day, you and I in America and in Europe flush down the toilet 50 gallons of water. Down the toilet. Average. Per home. Brothers and sisters, we took a box to a refugee camp, and the family told us for 11 days they couldn't find food. And the moment we put the box, this little girl comes in, opens the box, she thrifts through it, takes out dry macaroni, and she starts to eat it. You talk about istiqrar, contentment, 911, and they would be at your home within 5 minutes. Geolocation, anywhere you are within the United States, somebody will come to your rescue. I have a text that was sent to me from Sudan. She said, Al-hala sa'ba. She said, we are in total insecurity. Muhasarin, we're surrounded. And then she said, حتى الأكل والشراب في جهجها. In her Sudanese accent, this is my cousin, she said, we don't know where to get food and water from. And then she said, right now we are under the beds because of all the chaos that is around us. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. You see, every Sunday we concoct these maneuvers and we tell our kids, honey, please eat. I'll get you a cookie. Honey, please eat. Finish your veggies. We're begging our children to finish their veggies. Though they may be brushing it aside and eat because they're finicky sometimes. But I want you to go with me on this journey. I went to Al-Dada, to Mogadishu, IDP, internally displaced people. If you want to know what internally displaced people are, they were the professors of yesterdays, the doctors, the wealthy people of that country who no longer are able to make ends meet. So they come to a camp to get food. I have been begged for money and clothing and food my entire life because this is what we do. But I've never been begged for water. I went to this camp and the man is standing outside. He begged me for the glass of water that I had. In Texas, we call it, it's backwash. I'm not going to give you the rest of my water. That's not respectful. So the translator said, he's begging you to give him this bottle of water. When I handed over, the man disappeared in joyful and jubilation. He was so happy. When we walked in with the APNA team, may Allah bless them, the American Pakistani Doctor Association, may Allah bless them, or the Physician Association, we walked in and one of the boys came closer to me and I patted on his head and I said, well, doctor, can you look at his head? He might have some scabs. He said, Radwan, these are not scabs. This is filth. You see the water tank? There is no water. When the water comes, mom has to make one of two decisions: either drink and cook with the water or wash him. This is not a choice that you and I make, brothers and sisters. This is not a choice that humans should ever make. This is not a choice that Muslims should ever make. Say Alhamdulillah. In Palestine, and this is a message to the young eyes in this congregation, listen. Your parents have broken their neck to make life easy for you compared to their lives growing up. In Palestine, in an area called Al-Askar camp, near the West Bank, a young girl would go to school and she would look for a plastic bottle in the garbage, cuts it in half, wrap it around her feet, and go to school with it. When it wears out, she goes out to look for another one. You, young man, and you, young lady, you would have a $250 shoe, fashionable, a fad that the moment it ends, you kick it to the corner so that mom and dad can take it to the thrifty store or hand-me-down or to the Goodwill. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. You see, brothers, let's put things in perspective. If you and I today have $2,000 cash in our hands, we are the wealthiest 1% of the richest people on the face of the earth. If your income is $30,000 or now $37,000, still below poverty level in America, you are the wealthiest 5% on earth. In Pakistan, Shamsa, who's young and blind, her brother would pull her to the market, and the night before they sat and wrapped sheets from old magazines and go to the spice market to sell it. Their entire income that day is $1 or less. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. We are blessed, brothers and sisters. We are truly blessed. We just don't know it. We're not asking to break the bank. We're asking to share what Allah has bestowed upon us by whatever you can. 1,000 people already died now in Sudan for no reason. When we looked at the floods in Rawalpindi and Pakhtunkhwa in Pakistan, people were staying in the streets. They were afraid to get into their homes. How's your home sound like today? Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. Finally, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول قال خير العمل إدخال السرور في قلب أخيك. The best deed that you and I can do is to put happiness in the heart of your brother or in the heart of your sister. The Sudanese people are very proud people, just like the Palestinians, like the Syrians, like so many people that we go around the world to help. And wallahi, I have never seen more generous people than those with less means. Extremely generous. And that's why I want to leave us with this. It changed my life after that visit. It was the Ramadan of 2012. Dr. Umar Shaheen and the team, we went to an area in Lebanon. I visited Irsal, and 99.9% Muslims, and I have never in my entire life, I thought poverty existed in Africa. I have never seen poverty in the middle of 100% Muslims, more so than I've seen in Lebanon, in Trablus. But this particular scene is we knocked on the last door to give them a box. And what's in a box but a canteen of oil, a bag of sugar, some rice, and some other amenities. And I asked the lady, I said, Ya khala, in Arabic, I said, Ya khala, kam yimdik al-sanduk? How long would this box last you? She said, Ya waladi, 13 yom, 13 days. She was counting the days. She said, there are 7 of us, we have to eat 1 a day. And so the adhan for Maghrib calls, and we have to break the fast. She said, break your fast with us. Ya khala. And we have to go. What do you mean break our fast? We have to go. We really have to go. She said, no, 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 no. Please break your fast with us. There is a mattress, an old mattress, in a makeshift home. There is a warmer in the middle. In the corner, there is a curtain that covers everything that belongs to her in her entire life, and 2 boys sitting. This warmer has a pipe that sticks up through a hole in the wall with black soot all over. This is where she cooks and she warms herself in the winter. She said, please break your fast. So she brings 2 lukewarm cups of water in an old glass and some dry bread. I mean, just imagine someone wants to give you with whatever they have. And then she said, please have dinner with us. And waited and waited. And she said, wallahi, our neighbors bring us iftar and dinner every day. Maybe today they forgot. I wanted to ask us and leave us with this question so that Imam Tariq can do the khutbah. This past Ramadan, when we came to break our fast, how much food was there on the table? And how often did we complain that it was not cooked well, hot enough, arranged right? Don't you know we have guests? Why the salt or the sugar in the juice is not perfect, or the salt on the food is the right way? Now, the ultimate question is, when we got up from the table, how much food did we leave behind? She still had to fast the next day. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. Say Alhamdulillah. And be generous with those who are in need. جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.